Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models and welcome to what is going to be another product review video. Now this one is going to be a broader product review where we're going to be looking at Tamiya tools, right? Not their consumables, but their tools. I've decided to do like a broad sort of Tamiya tools review because there's so many little tools in here which I can't really condone sort of dedicating a full video of doing a product review of something little and dinky, whereas if I did the whole sort of range I can do like little mini reviews here and there within this video. So as you can see, we've got a lot of tools here. We've got all these in to sell in the store, and I just want to sort of show you generally and talk about the tool range generally, what they have. So we'll just kind of go through pretty much all of them to sort of let you know. So starting off, we'll start just here. I do like this one. This is Tamiya's diamond foil. Now I do like this because it's been a bit hard to find a really nice shall we say fine foil. You know, they do, as you can see just here, they do some foils that are here, some standard foils, and there's other manufacturers out there that do foils, but this one's really fine, perfect for doing things like photo etch. I have been after something like this because I've always used Games Workshop did some and they were really nice, but they were so expensive. I paid something like £100 for like a little tool set. You had a couple of tools in there and you had this really nice fine foil, but that was Games Workshop. But Tamiya does do this one, really nice foil to get your hands on. They do some funky stuff as well. As I say, you know, I wouldn't do a dedicated review to these kind of things, but nice little hammer, good for things like HMS Victory and wood shipbuilding. Very rarely use it in sort of like plastic scale modeling, but nice tool to have on hand. Good old the P cutter, the plastic scriber 2. Everyone should probably get one of them. Excuse me. And then they've got a range of different types of scissors and stuff. Admittedly, maybe we're sort of going a bit sort of professional and sort of, you know, you probably wouldn't use these kind of some of these as often, but you know, going into a professional model, it's good to have them at hand. We've got these scissors. These are good for kind of cutting up things like plastic card. They do another version which has a curved edge to the actual to do some cutting, good for sort of cutting shapes and stuff with plastic card, but you necessarily don't sort of need these when you get started. Some actual decal scissors as well. You know, this is kind of like the funky things about the Tamiya range, is that they do a lot of stuff that is dedicated to scale modeling, although technically you can go off and you could go off and buy some cheap scissors. You know, fair enough, you know, basic modelers and maybe intermediate modelers, cheap scissors pretty much do, you know, pretty much everything. But when you sort of really get dedicated to the hobby, you know, something like some dedicated deckling scissors, pretty good. And I do like these ones as well. These I absolutely love. These are their photo etch scissors, right? Comes in a nice little packet and everything. You know, nicely covers it up, and you got that little holder there. These are really cool because technically you can get away with not actually, because I normally teach how to do photo etch where you cut it in a certain way and you've got to sandwich it and stuff. These are like perfectly designed to cut them off, so you don't have to maybe go down that route. It makes things a bit easier and quicker and faster, but you know, it's another one of them. We do have a couple of different types of cutters that you can just see here, if I get them the right way around. A couple of different cutters we have. We have sort of like your standard, bit of a cheaper version for standard cutting. We have these really fancy ones which are expensive, but they are good for they're really sort of sharp, shall we say, and so that, you know, cutting like canopies, because you know, you cut into canopies, and if you haven't got a good set of cutters, you can see it sort of micro fracture and splinter, and if that goes onto the clear canopy part, you don't want that. So a good set of sharp cutters is a good one. We've got some funky stuff here. Again, this is probably for more sort of a professional model who just wants to have kind of everything like me. This here we have, they are basically some pliers, good for sort of clamping stuff, but they've got this non-scratch sort of surface that's on here, and what that does is just means you can sort of clamp something that you don't want to scratch and hold it in place. Not necessary in most cases, but it's a nice tool to have around. Moving along, we have things like this. These are quite cool. They're bending pliers, right? They've got two sort of different sizes. They are cool in the sense that when it comes to bending photo etch, you know, you can go off and get these proper bending tools, and they're not cheap. It's more for the advanced modeler, and they are really sort of expensive. They are cool, but I say they're really expensive. These, shall we say, aren't cheap. I think they're about £20 each, but you know, it's sort of like £20. You could get one of these and you can do a lot of bending with one of these bending pliers, and really, you know, it just makes it a little bit quick and easy, because I know with the proper photo etch bending tools, it's like you've got to tighten them up and you've got to set them up and everything. This is just boom 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 and you're away. Yeah, and then we've got all sorts of little things here now. I mean, we've got sort of like, they're kind of like tweezers. They do some actual dedicated deckling tweezers as well, which is quite cool. Yeah, you know, we've got some standard sort of a fine pin vise as well. You know, I do quite like that one. It's pretty good. They do these. This is their airbrush cleaning brush, right? They do two sizes. I'll just find the other one because it is so cool. Where has it gone? Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. They do this here, which is like a really fine dinky one, right? So when it comes to those nozzles on your airbrushes, this one, really tiny thing, absolutely great for it, does a fantastic job. The bigger version actually sort of gets into the sort of bigger areas, really good for cleaning up your airbrush. We do have a big whopping saw here, way sort of oversized. This is probably for you wood ship builders. I mean, you could use it for like cutting up, shall we say, cockpit resin and stuff, but you know, it is quite oversized, shall we say, for our hobby. But I mean, wood ship building defo. They do some paintbrushes as well. You know, I mean, really, when it comes to professional modeling, Series 7 all the way, they are fantastic, sable brushes and stuff. But they do sort of like a nice little range where we can sort of, you know, get you guys sort of into paint brushing and whatnot. There's that kind of stuff. Then we have like masking tapes. You probably already know we do have the, you know, good old 18, 10mm and was it 6mm? 6mm. We've got the dispensers, we've got the refills for them. I've used so many masking tapes over the years, and you know, Tamiya is all the way, if you ask me. They're even doing these things as well. These are good. I'll just quickly maybe sort of show you. I've got one that I'm actually using here, and I've got some scissors lying around here. There we go. May as well use these deckling scissors. All right, if we just cut into this is really cool. This is just so as you don't waste loads of masking tape covering up an entire model. I'll just cut this little bit off just here, and what you do is you just sort of tape onto the model, and you know, you have this bit of a plastic sheet that comes out. It should come out quite a bit. Does this one come out quite a bit, or is it the other one I got? I think it's the other one I got. I think this is the 150mm, so you put that onto your model and it just covers it up. You've got the 550mm, which stretches out further. This is probably more 1/32 scale. Cool stuff like that. And then we have their masking tape for curves, right? These are rather cool. We've got 3mm, 5mm, 12mm, right? And basically what it's all about is, you know, the thinner the strip of masking tape, the more you can sort of curve around edges and all that good stuff. Plus it's more of a sort of a plastic type masking tape, so it allows you to bend and curve a lot better. So doing patterns and stuff, really cool. And this, I think this is a lot of it. I think there is more, but basically what we have here is a really sort of nice range of tools. Now, my personal opinion on Tamiya tools. Now, they are expensive, you know. I mean, that is kind of like the two bottom lines are they're expensive, but they're damn good tools. They are sort of tools designed for scale modeling. They are probably some of the best tools that you can go out there and buy, but you're going to pay a pretty penny to get them. You know, I mean, for instance, where's those cutters gone? These fancy cutters just here, right? They are good, as I say, for cutting into those canopies and getting a nice clean cut, right? But they're, I think that was like 30 or 36 pounds, right? They're not cheap. I do kind of get the feeling that you're getting a good quality tool and you're paying for a good quality tool, but then it's almost as if you are paying for the brand, you're paying for the name Tamiya to be on these tools, right? So when it comes to my recommendation of potentially buying Tamiya tools, I would say that if you are a beginner, a basic modeler, right, you don't want to be spending tons and tons of money on these expensive tools. Really, you sort of want to get into the hobby first, right? Because you can buy a set of cutters for maybe £5-6 ish, right, instead of like paying a lot more, and you just want to get into the hobby and have fun and not like spend an absolute fortune. However, for all you guys out there that are like intermediate and above, and you're dedicated scale modelers and you're really into it and you really want to go professional and stuff, you know, having the best tools at hand is always going to help you do your job right. So it is recommended for all you sort of scale modeling nuts out there who really want to build professional models, and you know, having the best tools is sort of like the way to go to get professional models. However, in saying that, there are I mean, really, in saying that, that is kind of like my opinion of the sort of the whole sort of buying Tamiya tools. But there is also tools in here, if we get a bit specific now, that, you know, everyone should probably potentially go out and buy. For instance, you know, if you want to do scribing, you know, good old, you know, plastic scriber 2 is probably one of the best go-to sort of P cutters out there that I use and everybody uses, if you ask me, and it's highly recommended. You have things like their masking tape. Again, they are probably the best masking tape out there, and not actually that expensive, strangely enough. Moving along, I mean, they do, I mean, although I did mention that these cutters were rather expensive, they do their sort of cheaper version, and they're pretty damn good for the price. And a few other sort of odds and sods. I mean, you know, we have sort of like the pin vise. I do, if you liking photo etch, right, you know, the diamond foil is a good one to go for. Their tweezers, they're not, shall we say, cheap, but I've found with tweezers, you know, if you're a beginner, you know, I've done it when I first started. You go on eBay, you buy some cheap tweezer sets for about £5, and it's like a really soft metal and they don't quite work. You want a good, nice quality sort of metal tweezers, you know, so, you know, because you're just going to end up sort of wasting your money when it comes to tweezers, if you ask me. But apart from that, you know, the rest of it is kind of pretty much for your more intermediate above scale modeler who wants to get a professional model done, and you want the best tools to get that professional model done. So all in all, you know, it is a definite thumbs up, but hopefully sort of taking on board that depending on your sort of scale modeling level, depends on whether or not, you know, you should maybe invest in the Tamiya tools. But they are really, really cool tools. Once you've got them, you will love them. They are durable, you know, they'll probably last you for life, and they're really nice tools to use, and I like using them. You know, just to kind of maybe throw one out there for you basic guys out there, Sesto, they are a good brand. We do sell them in the Genesis Model store, and they are, shall we say, good quality tools that are at a nice reasonable price. They're not Tamiya, they're maybe not as good as Tamiya, but they're nice and reasonable price for you guys who are getting started in the hobby. But apart from that, hopefully you have enjoyed. So as always, until next time, my name is Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I'll catch you later.